don't know how to do this. Hey,
Hey,
how y'all
how
doing?
you doing?
Fuck, my hair is just gonna bother me this whole time.
No, it looks really cute actually. It honestly looks like it's a little headband.
Thanks.
Okay, so we've tried to start this like 10 times.
This is definitely like
At least number 3. Third time's a charm though. 5 actually might be more.
yeah. It's okay. It's a process. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like we're really trying to learn how to do all this shit, and it's a lot of shit.
Plus, like, I'm really no help with technology stuff. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, in 5th grade, I was like coding my MySpace like this. You know what I mean? I was like,
Okay, but coding MySpace, yeah, it was no problem.
yeah,
Shit, nowadays I'm like,
this.
I don't even know how to do it.
No,
I'd be struggling. Yeah, it took about 2 hours to even just get this whole thing set up.
The light's still good though.
No, literally lighting great, fantastic.
Incredible.
So yeah. So okay, here's the gist. What the fuck are we doing with the podcast? Who gave us one? Ourselves. Because
This is the only thing you're still free to do in America.
right.
Right.
Literally. And
We still
media
have opinions.
and content is very important right now.
Yeah, and I also just think too, like, there's a sense of, I don't know, like putting ourselves out there, but also, I don't know, like, it just feels like you're kind of like forced to face yourself when you're having to listen to yourself and stare at
Speak.
yourself and speak
To
and
talk.
yeah, and it actually makes you really think about what you're saying before you speak. Like, I just took 20 seconds to deliver this. Like, so it actually forces you to like take a little bit more care of your words, at least for some people with podcasts or whatever. So, but yeah, we're back.
Yeah, so we're gonna do this for real.
Yeah.
Essentially the whole gist. I'm not gonna give you the whole spiel that we did several fucking takes the last time. Where my name is Jayvon. We're both from Texas. Yada, yada, yada. We've always had a really hard time doing the corporate gig. Go to school, get a degree. Don't try to do anything to feed your creative soul because you shouldn't do that because it's not going to make you money. Yeah. Who would even, why do art?
Yeah.
That's so silly of you. So whatever, yeah, doing all that, figuring that out. And essentially we are doing this, our podcast / hopefully one day whole shindig coming out creatives.
We'll be going the making.
Yeah. Obviously, if that name doesn't make sense to people, it's pretty straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward.
We're coming out as creatives. Right. Because we are creative souls.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, we just like really let that sit in the back burner. And so we really just want to tackle that now and do whatever the fuck we're supposed to do.
I'm Jordan. Me and Jayvon have been best friends forever. We really just want to, let me not say, you have to
It's fine.
But catch me if
It's okay. I know it's good. But the software we're using will take out those spacer words.
Oh, period.
That's the only AI we will use.
Otherwise, we hate AI. Anyway. Yeah, so I am studying sexual health, but I've always really had a desire, I guess, to put things out there and make videos and film. And I started painting and writing poetry during the pandemic. And I know finally.
Period.
Actually, that's something I wanted to like kind of get started off with our topics.
Okay.
Unless you want to.
Yeah.
So something that I think has always kind of stopped us from going for something like this, and the reason that we've kind of had to restart is because, for one, we are kind of perfectionist and incredibly hard on ourselves.
It's hard not to be.
Yeah, like they make it really easy, right? Yeah. But something I started doing is anytime I finish anything, like any poem, I just number it now.
Oh, okay.
And now it's made me feel like so much more accomplished.
Are you doing that so you can see how much you have done?
Yeah.
In a quantity, like a quantified number.
Yeah, because I was submitting. I'm gonna submit a portfolio for this like writing residency, and I was like, oh, I'm so ADHD. I have such a hard time finishing things. And I was like, gosh, I just really don't have anything.
Yeah.
And then I was like looking through my computer. I was like, I have so much shit.
No, literally when you sent me your poems for eventually we'll also get into that.
Yeah.
We're going to shoot some short films for them. I was like, damn, bitch, you really got a lot.
I know.
You really do.
I think I have like 40 that I'm really comfortable with, actually.
Yeah, and they're good.
But it makes it so much, it's like a little win for me. It's like tricking myself into thinking I really am.
You're like doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a little trick I've been doing to make myself feel better.
Yeah.
About my creative process.
I was like, I feel like you kind of have to do that because if not, then you're just like, am I even doing anything?
I know. And plus when you're ADHD and you start like 3 other projects, like we're starting this like central thing where we kind of come and like talk about creativity and like our process and like other creative things happening in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, we both have our own channels we want to pursue. Jay wants to really do like vlog and film and
just share my life, kind of like just document my things.
Yeah. Talk about his personal story. And I really want to talk about like the stuff that I'm learning in my sexual health graduate school and just like in general topics that pertain to sexuality. And we also just have other interests. Like Jay's huge cinephile.
Oh, I'm not gonna. I was like, I'm not gonna do it until
it's just so easy to like. He's like the only person in the world I can do a. What's it called? Impersonation. It is the same word.
Oh, is it? I don't fucking know.
Sorry.
I was just like, I should probably move the fucking computer out of the way. So
yeah. Show that body.
Yeah, body is tea.
Wait, this is something we had on the list to talk about though.
What?
Is also that like, so we're gonna be moving towards making. Again, are really going to be focusing on our YouTube channels.
Yeah. Essentially, like how I've been describing it to people when I've talked to people about it is we obviously, I don't want to use these words, but I should, like visionaries, like we have such an outlook on like just a lot of things. And I feel like, yeah, we're doing the YouTube. Yeah, we're doing what we talked about. This also in the topic, like TikTok, Instagram, social media, essentially. But like having it be curated in a way where it's not the influencer vibe. Like we are really just trying to showcase what we're so passionate about.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the old influencer model is like clearly failing. I think that the popularity kind of surgence that happened during the pandemic, like people aren't really engaging in content like that anymore.
Right.
I think that's partially why Remy Bader is having such a hard time is because the platform was built off of one thing and it kind of now feels like she's like, okay, I'm taking that back. It's a new thing.
Right. Exactly.
And again, when you're doing TikToks, you're really trying to look for like the viral moments. And I think Layla, my roommate, does a good job about this. Is she kind of mixes her content with like funny trends, dance, and she's doing the one-on-one talking to the camera, like telling her story. And I think that that sort of formula is really what people are more engaging with. Is like is more real. Kind of conversation to conversations lately. Especially just since, because again, like
there's too much happening in the world and not enough. I feel like a lot of the issues with like what's happening in the world is literally because people do not sit down and actually talk about things, whether that's like real life shit or just like whatever the fuck's going on in this country. Like no one actually sits down and talks about that nitty gritty stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're like scrolling through and getting
the little dopamine hits, laugh.
Yeah. It's so funny too. Like I go on and I'm immediately like, hee hee, dopamine. But then I see something and it's like immediately rage bait too. And it's not even necessarily rage bait, but it's like Trump declares there's 2 sexes or whatever. And then you see a comment that feeds into the rage bait. And so you feel the need to react, but it's not actually having a conversation with anybody. Right. It could literally be a bot.
I feel like it's like, no, literally. I just feel like sometimes too is like, you're just throwing shit into the void.
100%.
Essentially. And it's just like going to get lost. Don't really know where it's going to go versus like actually talking to like people in your community or like your friends and whatnot about shit. And then like hopefully chain reaction occurs.
Yeah. It is, I think too, like, why I'm glad we're doing this is because like, even so many of, like, my girlfriends sometimes I feel like are still, or not even just my girlfriends, like my guy friends too, are talking about, you know, like relationships. And I mean, we're in like kind of the era. Sorry, there was a really cute kid.
Yeah. I know, it was like,
oh, cute. Children. Do it. We hate kids.
We do, actually. Don't
Just kidding.
be confused by this. We only like the children that our loved ones produced.
Yeah. Everyone else.
Don't give a fuck. Sorry.
Your kid is
You chose to have a kid?
stinky. That's weird.
Yeah. Our nephews happened because God wanted them to be here by accident, okay?
Didn't.
The people who are willingly choosing... No, that's really bad. Oh my God, I sound like Chappell. Willingly choosing to have a child in this economy, you should really think about that. Because why? Why would you do that? I don't understand.
Wait, that it's actually so funny, but the Chappell Roan like parent gate is
that was hilarious.
Is literally the reason why I was like, okay, God, I have to stop participating in TikTok.
Yeah,
like,
because why were they so like I understand, because women obviously very powerful. You literally create a whole fucking human being in your body, like
from
no, literally. But at the same time, you see how the world is going. Like, why? She'd be like, I'm gonna have a child.
Well, I think also like,
and the moms were, she didn't even say moms, they would just like,
she did say parents, you know?
Yeah.
Good for, you know, gender neutrality, I guess. But like, I do have to say, like, the watching people freak out about that, like, I do think that Chappell should maybe do a better, like, I do think that we'll get into kind of the role of the artist in politics, but I think what she was saying is, for one, you really need double incomes.
Yeah.
And then if you have double incomes,
and
who's
not just
actually watching the child at
50K double income.
No, like, I think it's like $200,000 at least or something is the average now.
Yeah.
And with combined incomes, and still is like you don't have savings or something.
Yeah.
Was that new?
Essentially.
Anyway, but also like there's just no support from the government. Nobody has time to help support anymore either. We all have jobs and side hustles and other things and other responsibilities, or we're caretaking other people. And
well, I was like, I feel like the roles of like the caretakers and whatnot, like even then, like that's not even paying people enough. So it's like they have to even go back to the drawing board. So then it's like, I'm sorry, I can't watch her kid.
Yeah, that sounds like hell. Trying to like constantly make sure somebody else is fed and safe and happy and healthy, and I'm not fucking them up every chance. It does sound fucking hard. Like,
crazy. But
also, like, I think that I realized that I was like feeding into rage bait with that, because I was just like watching all the moms be like, motherhood brought light to my eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's great for you. I'm so happy. If you got what you wanted in life, like, good for you. That's really great. But I do think that it's important to have especially popular women talk about how you can be fulfilled without children and marriage and things like that. Like, that's still important, because for one, a lot of people aren't going to get to have kids even if they want them. And two, like, it makes like single people with no kids seem like they're like have failed at life, when it's just like incorrect. It's just a different path. Yeah,
it's just like it's literally like you chose your own.
Yeah, but they just
adventure, essentially.
The taking it on a whole nother level of personal. It's just like, babe, it's so obvious you're triggered.
Because if the shoe fits, then it fits. I mean, it is. I mean, I don't have a fucking kid, but I mean, even just owning a dog, like, that's not. You got to take it out. You got to walk it. You got to feed it. Make sure it has water. Make sure it's good on shots. And I'm like, that's a four-legged creature that's only here on average, like 10 to 12 years. This is a whole nother person that's going to be here at least another 60, 70 at least.
Yeah. I think that's the thing too, is like I think a lot of parents in art, I remember when I was growing up, my dad at least was a lot more like, join the military, go to college, get out of here at 18. You know what I mean? And that's just like not normal anymore. Like, I feel like most people who live with their parents even a year outside of college now, and maybe it is partially because we graduated around COVID, but like, I mean,
What else do you fucking do?
22-year-olds can't afford it. Can't afford a $2,000.
Not even a fucking studio.
What?
My friend who I got convinced here to leave Brooklyn to move to Jersey City because it was sadly it's still a little bit cheaper. Like his first studio is like $2,000. Granted, it is like a spacious studio, and he did like really do it right, so it doesn't feel as like compact. But like, God, that's ridiculous.
We really paid for a bigger box, and then eventually we got to pay for that small box.
Which is so silly. I can't talk shit because I picked this apartment complex because it has this podcast room, essentially.
Well, that's good. That's
And a pool.
good.
Yeah. And so, like, you know, when I get, like, a little bang for my buck, I don't feel as bad.
Yeah, you got that jib.
But not everybody can do that.
They get free coffee in the lobby.
20
10 a year.
Oh, 10 a year? Oh, well, I don't know what it said.
It's only 10.
A year? That's ghetto. See what I mean? What do I mean? Like, what is happening?
Even one a month. Every 6
I mean, your fucking chips, that small thing of chips probably cost $4.
It did.
And the grapes probably cost $4.
It did.
Grapes, and she didn't even get like a whole bunch. It's just like 5.
And it was like, I got a little chopped cheese as well. $4.
So a total of $12 right there.
It's $12. And it was this big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do?
Like literally.
The tariffs are enacted or whatever.
No, not the tariffs.
Sorry, triggered.
They did get paused, except for China, but
They're just...
it's just silly. It's just silly. That's why I'm like, why the fuck can I sit down and just do a podcast? Because this shit is so... No one takes life seriously.
I think that was like really exciting for us as like people who take themselves really seriously and life really take things personally and everything like that. Like...
This shit's not real. Like, this shit's not real.
Like, God forbid we fucking enjoy ourselves while
Literally.
we have, like...
Whatever time I got here. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah.
Or you get deported to a country you've never been to.
Or get rounded up. I'm, like, literally so worried about pride.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what if they just try to pull some shit? Like, because honestly, once again... It's just a circus. Like, you can't...
I know, they've been trying to kill us off.
So...
They've been trying to kill the gays.
Yeah, so essentially that's, like, why we're like, fuck it.
Fuck it.
We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do what we want. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Literally, I posted my my recent Instagram story, and it was, like, a year of New York City and Ozempic, and I'm like... Yeah, because if bitches are gonna... I know they're gonna say shit like... Oh, he looks skinnier. Yeah, bitch, I took a drug. I shot myself up every week.
Yeah.
And I'd do it again. You would do it too for a check. It's Coco Jones.
And that's his business.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just want to be transparent. I just, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
I think you should be.
So that's like the whole gist. And then kind of.
That's it? You're not talking about it?
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
He said, that's that.
But no, I mean, I just kind of wanted to segue into like our first real conversation.
Oh, yeah.
The artists and
the political.
And how they deal with like political issues or
the role of artistry in politics.
And I feel like we have a better understanding. I feel like you have to compliment and give people a good escape, which I feel like obviously a lot of artists do in general anyways, but like you really just like, I don't know, I lost my train of thought there, but then I started thinking about the Chappell thing and to how to segue that also into what she did.
But what happened, what was like the rest of the Chappell thing?
Oh, essentially, basically she was saying like, I don't, like, even though I'm an artist, like, I don't know why people expect me to have a opinion on politics. And so like, that's why a lot of people were getting upset.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was doing a switch up from when she was like, no, I do have comments to say about our administration, and no, I'm not going to perform at your Pride celebration last year.
Yeah.
Because y'all ain't doing shit about the genocide. So everybody was just like, what the fuck? And look, I love my girl Down. I was jamming that album nonstop. Saw her about 3 times last year. Like, I still stand, but at the end of the day, I understand she's a white woman from Missouri.
It's hard because like I am on like the dating apps and stuff, and I don't date guys who are apolitical or non-political or.
You have to have some type of stance.
Yeah.
And like, as a lot of people I've seen when they talked about the Chappell Discourse, like if you're going to say something, stand 10 toes down. Like, yeah, stand on your business and be like, I'm going to back up whatever I said.
Yeah.
Keep the same energy.
I guess the only thing I would say in defense of
white women defending white women?
No. Oh. I do think in general, like, maybe it's because she said specifically, I don't know why people are like pointing to me for political opinions. And what, besides Taylor Swift and a few like paid Democratic celebrities, like how many celebrities or artists and stuff like that do we really have right now who are genuinely making statements of impact in a political manner? Right. Like literally besides like, I'm trying to think like the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to get to debate about this but they're like Kendrick's Super Bowl was like political, but like kind of parts of Cowboy Carter are giving American propaganda. And even Katy Perry right now with her trip with Lauren Sanchez as like to the moon on.
Oh yeah, that is weird. That is very.
She's using red, white, and blue for her
album and all that.
Her album and all that, and like that's giving American propaganda vibes. This, I was like, at minimum.
Which we're gonna, and that's the whole point of us doing this is because we're gonna see a bunch of that shit.
Yeah.
Because I think that's just the message they're trying to prove that we're yay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's
strong country, whatever the fuck the red, white, and blue stands for, freedom.
Yeah, the media is about to be really, really interesting. I think it's good that we're kind of coming out and doing this now because I really, like, I'm already seeing more movies and stuff lined up this year for Jesus and like Christianity. I think they already did Mary. Now they're doing The Last Supper.
I mean, the A24 movie that's coming out.
They're doing A24 is doing Jesus?
No, it's Warfare. And you know how it's being marketed right now as a little queer-coded bromance kind of vibe. Yeah.
So we're romanticizing war?
Going to war. To be with your bros. Literally.
See, like, it's just a lot. Yeah. But, so I'm not trying to defend Chappell, but it is kind of crazy, I guess. And I think that artists should be part
of the political
scape. Yeah, of course. But we are putting a lot of pressure on Chappell, and I'm not seeing
pressure on people who are bigger than her.
Yeah, 100%. And who have been around a lot longer,
who know the game,
and who have genuine influence.
Right.
And like, I get it, and like again with the Taylor Swift, like she endorsed Kamala really late. And it was so clearly staged because of how quickly it came after the debate, too. Like, it just gave paid vibes. And, like, obviously that they did a ton wrong. But I'm just saying, like, besides... Literally, what other, like, big artist like that has done, like, a super political kind of performance since Kendrick Lamar in the last 10 fucking years?
I mean, Beyonce.
But what?
Beyonce?
Yeah, which performance, though?
The Freedom one. When she did,
yeah.
You know, I was like, honestly, I mean, anything during the Lemonade era.
Yeah, but which is so funny because then Cowboy Carter comes, what, like 5 years later?
But I think the whole thing with her whole thing that she's doing right now in general is that she's taking back genres of music that were appropriated by
white people.
Right. So that's the only reason, obviously. But once again, I'm a little biased because I am a stan.
I know.
So it's hard. But at the same time, I do understand what she was doing with that album and the whole concept in itself. Yeah. That's why I'm excited when I go to the tour in a couple of days. Yeah. Because I want to see how she's going to present it versus because I feel like, once again, similar to Kendrick's, doing a halftime show in general is very American.
Oh, totally.
In itself. Yeah. Because that's literally our own fucking sport that we love to death.
Yeah.
So I think obviously she's really feeding in. That's why I'm really interested to see what she does for the actual tour. If
Yeah.
it's more of a like the blackness in the country space,
Yeah.
or is it the American propaganda being pushed through
Yeah.
that just with the gaze of being
Yeah.
Black America?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not like obviously I mean, I love the album and I love what
Yeah.
she does. I love the details she puts into things.
But there really isn't anyone doing what Kendrick did, because that really was like, if you did not understand the whole, it was in your face.
Yeah.
Like it was very blatantly there.
Yeah.
I mean, Uncle Sam.
Yeah. That was, I mean, that part alone, even without kind of like the choreography and just the wardrobe and the songs that he chose in itself, like.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. Yeah, no one else is doing that.
Yeah.
So we are giving a lot of pressure to people.
Yeah.
Like
Which,
Chappell.
I mean, I do think, I mean, it's just funny, like in a way, like artists and things are like representative of us as well, because we sort of prop them up and make them famous.
Yeah,
Like,
we
them,
pick what.
we pick
pops
what,
off.
yeah, we give them attention where they want. So
It's like you could do the little back for us, like speak your truth, or
it's not even that.
push
Like
the needle.
I guess it's frustrating that, I mean, it kind of comes back to the Remy Bader thing too, is that like once somebody reaches a certain level of status, there's no relatability. Like it's like it gets immediately cut off, and it's like kind of a detachment from the empathy of like the fellow man, fellow common man, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like artists right now
Trying to maneuver.
Mainstream popular. Yeah, they're really just not doing. Like artists back in the day were very political, were very resistance driven. I mean, punk itself is like and metal is like a genre in itself of rebellion. Like
True.
something too, like I was thinking, sorry if I'm talking too much, but like something too I've been thinking about as especially is because like these rich people are like cosplaying our stories anyway. Like we just watched Anora.
Whoo!
I'm speechless.
It was a good movie. I think it was beautifully shot.
Yeah.
She was acting.
Yeah, she was acting.
Wants to be a wifey.
Yeah.
Vanya.
Anya.
I'm gonna let her go first.
Okay.
Because I just can't.
Jayvon's brain said,
no, it's not. I have a lot of thoughts. It's just.
it's running too fast for your mouth.
Yeah.
God, that happens to me all the time. Okay, wait. But I think that Nora is a good like pivot from what I said, where they're like kind of cosplaying as us, because obviously it's a story about a sex worker.
Right.
And we were saying this, like, there's a portion of the film where she's kind of in search of her deadbeat husband. And she's essentially like begging for her life for like a whole entire hour, if not more, like more of the film.
It's hard to watch. After like the first 20
After they get married, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, okay. Because obviously, if you pay attention to the film, you kind of know like where the story's going to go, kind of get the gist. And I was like, okay. But I was like, I didn't know we were going to sit in it this long.
Yeah, it was.
Which it was pushing the needle or driving the point home of like that, like survivability is like how I just saw it essentially.
Yeah.
Which, know that struggle. So.
Yeah. Also, like I think Jayvon said this earlier, like it really, I think because the scene for so long is her like kind of like climbing the never ending rope, that it genuinely feels torturous both to her and like kind of the audience.
Yeah.
Like I remember there's a point when we were all watching it on my couch, we're all like this, we're like, oh, because
like wasn't when she was getting gagged and tied to a chair and thrown and just like held down, and you're like, this is getting right there.
The comfort,
went a little past it, and and then the ending, which, you know, if you haven't seen the movie by now, it's on Hulu. God, why I'm plugging these fucking businesses? They're not even paying me. They're on streaming services. You can find them, but. Spoiler alert or whatever, she basically doesn't she gets divorced, yada 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 yada, and she is getting dropped off by one of the goons of the family, and then she tries to sleep with him, and it's so hard because you're literally seeing her. She's still trying to like hold on to somewhat of this life, but I think you finally see that she understands that she's lost this battle.
Yeah. And the thing is she tries to hold on, and the only way that she thinks she has some semblance of power, which is through sex. So, right. And I will say the last scene is very cathartic. Is cathartic. But I think part of the reason it's so cathartic is because we literally watched this poor woman like essentially be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like for 2 hours.
It's like as I would say in like the Illuminati bullshit. Like it was like kind of like a
humiliation ritual.
Yes.
Like hers.
Yes.
Yeah. It was kind of really.
Yeah. So that was like, once again, beautiful movie, beautifully shot. Though Zane was telling me that if you watch the trailers for it, they'll only use the first 10 minutes of the movie.
For the trailers?
Mm-hmm. Because and then if you look at it, it looks like it's going to be like this cute love story. It's not a cute love story at all.
Oh.
I was like, I got to go back and watch that.
The only thing I was thinking of is I think that film had some issues too because like intimacy coordinators weren't used.
Oh, they weren't?
I know. Or something like that.
What?
We
gotta fact check.
I'm gonna fact check, but I'm gonna say this, like, I think that there wasn't. But especially in cases where there is kind of like a power imbalance or there's just in any kind of sexual scene, like I would assume that an intimacy coordinator is also there to kind of help the staff through things.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
some scenes that's what
definitely be triggering.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really anything sexually triggering, I don't think, in any of this, but
I mean, but just certain positions, kind of like, and the guy in it, Vanya, is like a really brutal jackhammer fuck.
Well, I guess, I mean, when you're at the strip club too,
yeah,
it's like there's all these women just topless.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening behind the scenes?
Yeah, like, it's just like, it's really, like, I just was like, everybody at this film was like cool with like, I was like, imagine how long too it took to film that intense part of the movie where she's just being like dragged through hell for an hour.
Like, how do you walk away on set from that? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, you see like a lot of people who talk about like they do method acting or whatever and they really get into the character.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you separate yourself? That's something I've really been interested in. And that's also, I don't know, we'll probably talk about it here, but I'll also talk about it on my own channel as well because like there's a lot I want to dive into that because that's just like crazy to do. Yeah. And the power that has.
I find even writing certain characters, like if I'm trying to write like a nasty person or whatever, it is hard to
get into that headspace
and then feel like you come out the other side like completely the same.
Right. That's what I want to talk about because it's weird. I mean, not even just like the hard shit, but even like the good stuff. Like when I went to go see Audrey McDonald and Gypsy, it was just so crazy because it's like, for a second, I'm like, you could tell me that's her character. That's how she is 24/7.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, but I know that's not how she is because I've heard her talk normally and whatnot. And I'm just like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
How you literally like transform. And I'm like, how does that make her feel, or anyone that does any type of performance, especially on Broadway, where you do it like 5 times a week?
Literally. And with
like that is you to some degree.
It's this is gonna segue into Severance, but but I think that all the time, all cop shows are propaganda. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Also, all of them and every.
She loves Law and Order.
I do love Law and Order SVU. What can I say? It's been on since I've been alive, literally. So it's just like, I don't know.
She said I was 1 day old, already watching episode 1.
Like my parent and we kind of grew up in that time where the internet was getting popular, but people weren't really safe on the internet because they didn't understand yet like its full extent of the data and the privacy that you give up to be on the internet, like
Literally.
essentially. So like, I think my mom was just kind of obsessed with those like Dateline kind of shows and that kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So we watched a lot of Law and Order SVU, whatever. I honestly think it's part of the reason why the new seasons are really bad of SVU is because Martha has, her name is Martha, right?
I don't even know what you're talking
Mariska.
about. Oh,
Mariska.
yeah.
I think it's
Homegirl.
Why did I call her Martha? Mariska.
Stewart?
I don't know. She's been in that character for 25 years.
Okay, yeah.
And really, I mean, I don't know if she's even done anything else.
I think she's done like a little like smaller movies here and there.
Yeah, but she's also the EP of the show now too. And so like to some degree, I like the new seasons are so much about like her ego. I can just tell, you know what I mean? Like she's kind of the savior in every single episode. Like it used to be like
A team effort.
yeah, and now it's really like it feels like a character study of her, but it's so like.
See, well, I think that's an issue, and I feel like that's where shout out to Ellen Pompeo, where she was like, I have to leave. I can't keep being Meredith Great. Like, y'all have to figure out the show without me. I mean, even just anyone who's left that show who started it, you know, Sandra Oh, any of them. Like, I really think they got to a point where it's like, there's nothing left in this character.
I honestly think
she takes a break.
Yeah, no.
She comes back.
I honestly think she didn't leave in time. I didn't watch the full thing. I do think she's incredibly talented.
Yeah, sure.
And I think that she's gonna
be fine.
Yeah, and I bet she would be a great producer and stuff normally as well.
Yeah.
But I tried to watch that one episode on blank streaming service, and I think that it was just like a weird entry episode, and it's kind of made it seem uninteresting because like the male character in it was just so pathetic kind of vibe that I was like kind of but at first when she was on the screen as this new character, I was a little like, stop seeing Grey's Anatomy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's hard. I mean, I think that also anyone who's done a long lasting character, I mean, even Robert Downey Jr. doing Iron Man, like he was him for so many years, and then supposedly doing another role, but it's like still kind of Iron Man, and everybody's like, you're Iron. You literally had a line at one of the biggest movies ever. You said, I am Iron Man. So I'm like, yeah, I can't separate the two.
No. Well, I mean, even we just watched The Pit, which great TV.
So accurate.
So
if you've ever worked in the medical field at all, it will tickle just a little part of your brain, but also put you in a traumatic, and then you'll still sit there and be like, I really did that every single fucking day.
I was gonna say, it must be like affirming though. I feel like it's like one of the first medical shows where I really am like, wow, these people do so much.
Well, they really did. Shout out to, I don't know who they had on their consulting team or whatever, because that was, I'm literally getting chills just thinking about it, because I'm just like, it was so accurate in like even just a little thing that I saw people do was.
How do you think it's going?
It's going great.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Besides your brain fart for a second.
No, literally it was like, what happened to my, like it just like
didn't want to talk for too long. Like
no, like I just like my brain, I was like, I can't think. Don't know what to do.
Burnout.
I'm also just like really groggy still, but I feel like I'm more like even though I feel groggy, like I feel like I'm alive.
Yeah, no, I think it's going well. It was just like funny at that one point. I was like,
I was like, girl, I got nothing for you.
I got nothing to say.
I got shit for you. Okay, I don't even know where we left off, but where did we?
Well, we were sort of talking about The Pit, and then we do want to talk about Severance too. I know.
Yeah. How are you going to segue into Severance?
But I think the Severance segue I actually meant before we started talking about The Pit was Severance is like, I don't know.
We were talking about people being split.
Yeah.
Characters. Oh, okay, cool.
Severance is really an interesting concept because, and it's something that I'm seeing a lot as the government and sort of like the Christo-fascist church like gets deeper and bigger. Like, the way in which we fragment our identities is either catching up to us, not going to work anymore, or just in general is going to become almost too severe. Like so in my, let me try to round all these things in my brain together.
So let me come up with a sentence so y'all understand.
Yeah, you guys want a full sentence, right? Okay. So I am studying impacts on policy on human sexuality right now. And one of the things I'm working on for our current event journals is this guy in Wisconsin was fired because him and his wife after work hours were producing porn.
Oh, okay.
And they fired him even though he never did anything with university money. Like, it was found like he produced it on his own time, his personal time, his vacation time. He never spoke with it outside at the university, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it really was like a separate thing. Mm-hmm. And he got unanimously fired from his job, despite there being
So who was watching?
Exactly.
on the job.
It kind of goes into, I felt like it kind of reached back to Severance, because it's like, who are we outside of work? And like, who is that version of us at work?
Right.
And I guess where does our identity sort of begin and end? Because like, I know that to some degree, even if I am myself at work, I'm not the full R-rated version of whatever.
Right.
And I'm still trying to play the decorum rules that are just present
in corporate America.
Yeah. And then if I do go home and I smoke a joint or come on here and talk about fascism, like, am I still representing the identity of me there too?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this still relates back to method acting, but I feel it's something where it's like rubbing the parallel or something.
Well, I mean, I've also kind of recently been having this internal struggle of like, sometimes I'm putting on a facade, but am I putting on a facade, or is that really how I am or whatnot? And once again, like, this whole thing that we're doing, I'm trying to figure that out.
And
my own self.
I don't want to put words in your mouth either, but I do think that maybe Black people struggle with that even more. Because I did go black.
The blacks.
I don't know, but y'all have to like code switch to actually survive.
No, yeah.
Like I'm
ally.
Let me not clap for myself. I'm an ally.
No, but I mean, that is a very good point. And like, that's kind of like the same thing. It's like, I code switch so much at work, not even just from like being more professional, more like white passing, but even just like being more straight passing, like with certain people too. Like, I know when I put my straight voice on, I know when I like don't, as I'm not as expressive as I am here when I'm using my fucking hands. I know when I'm like,
it's literally whenever you get white voice, it's like a string gets pulled and you sort of like puff up a little bit.
Yeah.
But your voice goes a little higher, or not higher or deeper or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it literally is so weird. Like it's like you can see you almost like inflate and then finally take a breath.
It's so crazy because I know like obviously people who like know me, like they see like when I switch and whatnot, but it's so weird because like I can't and can't.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
no, I mean, it's kind of like encoded. Like there's just certain people I know like what kind of conversations we should be having. Like if I see my boss in the office, like I know we're talking about the weather. Or else we have nothing fucking else to say.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here with you, I'm gonna say like my deepest, darkest thought that I've been itching on for like a week and a half. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's instinctive though.
Yeah. And I think kind of with the whole Severance method acting, kind of the whole shindig that we're getting at essentially is that like, where does that part of like what
do we own individually?
Yeah.
Just
what
us.
Is mine? What do I, who is my Jayvon?
Yeah.
To me, and like how do I want to be, essentially,
Yeah.
like all the time. And I mean, it's always funny because Thomas always laughs or makes fun of me because he's like, oh, you're being fake with those people. Like, he knows instantly, like, when
Yeah.
I put on my facade of, like, I could care less what the fuck you have to say to me right now. I'm just gonna be nice because, like, you haven't done anything wrong to me that I'm like, fuck you, but, like, I could care less and you're wasting my time and my time is precious. But then as they would say, am I the asshole?
Okay, wait. We watched White Lotus late, so we just watched the episode where Parker Posey, that the woman with the bib bob.
Oh, and was like,
I was like, oh my God, a year, 10 years ago, a fucking thing. And Parker Posey's just like, and yeah, a bunch of people would be able to see that and be like, she's a fucking cunt. But I actually loved it because I'm like, what are the rules that says you have to get along with everyone?
yeah,
You have to
say hi to everyone you see that you might know, might not know.
like,
Even if you, yeah.
and I thought the way that she played it, where she was just like that was so me. That I wish I had more of that energy in life to be like, this doesn't even dignify a response by me.
Yeah.
You are not rememberable. I'm having my own moment with the people I actually love.
Jordan has hella hoes obsessed with her, okay? Hella hoes. I ain't even gonna name them because I know they probably gonna watch, but there's several. So if you think you follow that category, you just might.
You might want to take a look at yourself in the mirror.
It's so funny because that just says my girl got power.
I know. I guess, I think maybe what I was saying with that whole thing is, it's just funny that other people think that you're thinking about them all the time. I'm like, guys, everyone's thinking about themselves.
And once again, that's the whole gist of this bullshit. No one gives a fuck about anything.
Oh.
There's so many other things that other people have to deal with their life. Like, that's something like Thomas and I feel like I've been trying to work on. It's just like, one, talking about our ADHD too, is like focus on one thing at a time to accomplish that task. But also, like, who cares? If something happens or it doesn't go your way, like, who cares? No one's thinking about you. Why waste your time?
Yeah.
Your time's precious.
Yeah.
For your own soul.
I think when you're young and, for the most part, most people sort of, grow up and do that whole thing with, the same amount of people. And even if, even in a huge school district, you still know a lot of the people. Right. And so I think that there's, this kind of, residual where if you get embarrassed, it's so, all encompassing.
It's like an echo chamber. You feel like it just bounces.
You know everyone's talking about you. You know everyone's texting about it. You're getting texts about it. You're getting messages on Facebook, whatever drama it is. And I feel like that I've held on to that kind of residual paranoia of, oh my God, they're going to know that I did something wrong. They're going to know that I fucked up. They're going to know whatever. It's still so ingrained. But yeah, I think luckily, because the world's gone to such fucking shit, that it's so much easier to be like, who gives a shit?
Literally, who gives a shit?
Who cares if they are talking about you?
Yeah, I just love giving other people's tea and just talking shit up. But Thomas canceled on a friend today, but he had every right to. I feel like that's fine. He woke up a little tired. I said, girl, just take the day to yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like you just have to be like, hey, but we can do it on another day. Once again, they're going to be okay.
We take everything as a major obligation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we love obligations. We love responsibility. We love to feel productive and we're needed people and blah, blah. And really it's how much are you doing it because you think you should be doing it? You think you should be going and hanging out with your friends, or how much do you actually want to be out and about,
right?
Versus having a day to yourself, or
exactly. Yeah, it's truly crazy. But essentially, with that person getting fired from their job, it's so crazy because they sent something out at my job and it was if you have any type of social media or you do, make sure you send it to us first for approval and blah, 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 so that it gets posted. And I'm like, first of all, disclaimer,
Right.
none of anything I'm talking about is, as we would say, I am severed from my employer, okay? I have nothing to do with my employer. They just pay me. I do the job. I do whatever they ask me to do, make sure my people are good, and come back home, and I don't give a fuck about that place, okay?
Yeah.
And that's something I've been trying to tell my other coworkers. I'm like, you're taking this a little too seriously, because at the end of the day, you're just an employee number to this corporation, and they're going to replace you anyways if you end up dying tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're going to put your job
That
for
day.
posting. Literally. As we see from the CEO shooting. Shout out to my man, Luigi.
It's funny because I was literally like, I saw I'm not sure if it's actually true, but they're like, the other board members are like stepping around the crime scene to still go up into the hotel for the meeting that they had that day at the United Healthcare. Also, shout out Luigi.
Shout out to Luigi, and my man does not deserve the death penalty, and I'm going to stand 10 toes down on that one.
Yeah, start calling freaking school shooters terrorism, and then we'll have a conversation.
Literally. That guy getting fired for sex work, well, why the fuck did he have to do sex work? Was he not getting paid enough? Or, because there is hella money in sex
work. The side hustle era is over?
Yeah, I'm like, you don't want me to have well, maybe you should pay me a little bit more. And also, who's watching me get dick down? And no one decided to tell on me.
Well, it's also funny too because like so much of that stuff was behind a paywall. So to some extent it is private.
Yeah.
Like so I'm like, why do they get to own us 40 hours of all hours of the week, but they only pay us 40 hours? Like that doesn't pay me for all the hours then.
Yeah.
If you want to own what I say or do on my social media, you have to pay for that.
Literally, because I put my own time and effort to do whatever the fuck I'm doing. Even if it's just like, I know people who get in trouble for like posting like a simple post on their story, It's like,
that's so silly.
What?
Well, it's just crazy to me too because like I just
and the thing is like if your profile is public, and I'm like, well, of course my profile is going to be public if I'm trying to pursue some type of thing where I can gain an audience to talk about this. Like.
But so many people like we don't get the privilege of working for a company whose values completely align. For one thing, a company's values is never going to completely align with my values, my personal values. But two, like the job market is trash. Yeah. Like there's money being pulled from grants and nonprofits and things like that. Like there's not how many companies actually are, a people first, employee first kind of company. A lot of people can say we're family, we're this, we're that, but very, very few places are unlimited PTO, hybrid or not, are actually catered around the convenience of the employee, not the convenience of the employer. So it's just like, the getting to say what I do after hours, I mean.
Yeah.
That is overreach in the highest degree. That's not freedom.
No. Yeah.
That's unpaid labor.
Yeah, and so I would definitely be it's kind of funny because in all my Zoom and team meetings, literally my background is the severed floor. Because it's so funny because they're like, "Where are you at?" I'm like, "The severed floor." Because like I literally am at work. Like, bitch, I'm
not fully present.
Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do and go about and when I leave this off the elevator and come,
Avatar change.
Literally, like.
So crazy, like, how much we have to, like, detach and dissociate to, like, get through a day of work.
Well, I think also that really stemmed from me, and I'm proud of my own journey, too, and that's, like, something I'm trying to share with, like, my other coworkers is, like, working in the hospital and being in the bedside is also going with the pit too is like that was very
traumatic,
draining, traumatic. And I did not realize in the moment, like, girl, I'm doing my job, seeing someone pump someone's heart through their chest to keep them alive. And they still ended up dying. Just had to clean up 3 dead bodies right now, put them in a bag. And it was just like, oh, now I gotta go home. I also have to have chicken in the water to make my dinner, and it's just like, when did I let go of what I just dealt with? And so that's why I'm like, no, I really had to put a hard stop. Yeah. Like I get mad at Thomas when he picks up his work phone after hours. I'm like, there is nothing that anyone is telling you right now.
Do it, Thomas.
That could be important at 8:00 at night. I'm sorry. You literally just got off 2 hours ago. You do not need to look at your phone. Guess what? They can wait into the morning during your working hours when you're actually getting paid to view this stuff. Because why would you do that?
I know.
To anyone. Like, you really should not do that.
No.
I'm a big advocate.
You're setting a standard for like the sliding into. I mean, I have experienced it at other jobs I've had where I didn't set a standard or a boundary right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, it's like, oh, you can take this on, right? 7 p.m. on a Friday. And I'm like,
No.
no.
Well, and that was when I first started at my new job too. I told one of my coworkers, I was like, "Oh yeah, I have a work phone." He goes, "They gave you a work phone?" I said, "No, I got my own self a work phone because I do not want my team's Outlook on my own personal phone blowing up at any random fucking time because my work phone will go off at 3 a.m. with a work update." And I'm like, "Who sent out a mass email at 3 a.m.? Why? Why are we sending out? I have business hours, as Gabby Winter said.
Honestly, true queen.
Literally. So, like, really just separate yourself, and that's why Severance works.
We're pro Severance.
Sponsored by Lumon.
I think that it's interesting though with Severance, something that I listen to the Severance podcast like I'm a freak, like I'm so into it.
I need to do that.
And something I think, I don't know if they said this or if this was a TikTok, but I do think that it's interesting with Severance because it's clear, like I think PD said something about it at one of the characters, but like the body still holds on to it.
Yeah, well, I've been telling Thomas that too. The body holds a score.
Yeah.
It really does. Isn't that a book?
No, it's a book.
Yeah, it really does.
I haven't read it.
I haven't read it either.
But you do, like, I just, like, how do any of those people from the pit or you or whatever, like, go home and not still feel, like, that fight or flight, like, that
No.
in the trenches? Like,
I literally would be stuck in fight or flight for days, especially when I would work, like, 6 shifts back-to-back, 6 12-hour shifts, mind you. That's a lot on your body. That's literally half your day for 6 days in a row.
No, like even when I was waitressing, like I'm not doing anything of genuine significance. And I come home and I'm like,
yeah,
you're wired. It's like when you get off a boat and you feel like you're still on the boat. Mm-hmm. Like your body is still literally like.
And now I'm like, okay, I gotta go to sleep, get 8 hours of sleep, also eat, and then gotta go back and do the exact same thing.
Gotta be social. Gotta be creative. Gotta take care of your parents.
Right.
Gotta check on people. Gotta check the social media. See what you don't need to be knowing about the news. Like, the other day I was because my parents have always been like the type to sleep 6 hours, and that's all. They don't need more to survive on.
Now I need my 8.
And lately on the weekends I've been sleeping like 10.
Yeah.
And it's genuinely, I think because it's such like overload of information right now, that by the weekend my body is literally like,
well, you probably owe yourself some hours.
Yeah.
From a long time ago.
100%.
That's something like
my body is owed some for sure.
For sure. No, girl, I understand. Same. I'm literally like, no, I'm gonna sleep today. Yeah. And then Thomas is like, we're up at 8 a.m. And I'm like, girl, why?
No, we're asleep.
Why are we waiting?
Thomas is sitting in the room with us. Should we wrap?
Yeah, I think we should wrap. Girl, you're supposed to give words to the wrap. Oh,
right. Okay, no, let me try.
We're actually wrapping.
Okay, we're wrapping.
But yeah. No, see, I love doing this shit.
I do too.
It's nice.
And we're actually going to post this one, so it's
exciting. No, this one's actually being posted. This one, it has to be edited.
Way less hard, too, in this one, which is so funny.
Because who the fuck cares?
I know, but it's just like, I think we wanted it, I don't know.
We really wanted it to be like,
perfect.
And I'm like,
precise.
Girl, I don't care if I'm out of the frame. Y'all gonna get whatever the fuck. The audio I'm gonna make sure the audio sounds good for like the non-visual aspect. But yeah, I'm like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Like,
we care.
I care. Let me correct myself. I do care about this journey that her and I are going on. But at the same time, who gives a fuck about what I'm doing? But also, you should give a fuck. Yeah. Because you should be listening, watching, and subscribing, following, hitting the bell for notifications. And
we're saying to give less fuck about criticism.
Right.
And about people who really are projecting because they're not on their own journey of self-discovery or
who want to stay in their bubble.
Or or trying to get out of their comfort zone and are
exactly.
So, but I'm excited, and we finally have a little studio. Cute.
Literally, I've seen no one else in my apartment complex use this space.
So it's ours.
So, and watch, I'm not to toot my own horn, but we're trendsetters. So
I know. I was thinking that. I was like, come in like a month. We're gonna have to actually rip the space. I know.
I doubt it. There's, I don't know. Maybe some bros here will start their own bar stool. But anyways,
let's go.
Like I was said, like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that. I don't know how to do it on any of the podcast audio places or whatever. Essentially, just subscribe, follow us on our journey. You'll get another one soon. Yeah, listen to us. Yeah, let us know what you think in the comments down below.
Love you.
See ya.
Bye.
Who's gonna hit stop?
Somebody hit stop.
Stop.
Damn, Thomas is looking at the Chili's menu. He hungry.